After a break of almost 5 years, Indian filmmaker Sriram Raghavan returned to the big screen with his directorial Merry Christmas, starring Katrina Kaif and Vijay Sethupathi. The movie is the perfect thriller that one could have asked for in the beginning of the year. To explain the movie further, we have with us Sriram Raghavan.
There used to be all these, books that you get in the library, circulating libraries, stories that make you go bump in the night, and a grave dozen, and so on, grave business, sorry. And, these are actually stories written by other authors, but Hitchcock used to present them. Maybe I read those first, and I began seeing his movies quite early in life. I remember, when I was 10, 12 years old, I'd seen North by Northwest and completely loved it. These movies used to come in reruns in Pune and Bombay and so on. So I've seen most of his movies. And then, of course, once I joined the Film Institute, I saw Psycho for the first time. I saw so many of those movies for the first time. And then, of course, today it's all available. And I think there are many filmmakers who I like and have influenced me. But Hitchcock probably holds a special place in the heart. Bird in the Cage is obviously it's many things. It's it's a symbol of bird in a cage. You can imagine all the symbols associated with it. If I talk about it might sound actually pedantic, but the thing is also it's based on a French novella by Frederick Dard, which also the English translation was called Bird in a Cage, and so the bird has many reasons to be there. And for a very alert audiences, it's also a very big clue. It's also a clue, it's also a catalyst, it's so many things. Caught in a circumstance, or you can't, I don't know. If I talk about it, like I said, it just becomes very, I feel very strange talking about it. And the Teddy, I'll tell you, initially began as just a toy in a child's hand, but it sort of started assuming some sort of symbolic value also. And I don't know whether people notice, but the Teddy, unlike Pinocchio's nose, Pinocchio's nose used to grow longer, this Teddy used to get a little larger at times. If you're alert, you can watch it. And that's why in the end there's a dialogue of saying, this guy has really grown. There are quite a few. You can definitely notice the Teddy's size thoroughly, and you can also interpret the bird in many ways. Even the lift in the house is like a bird cage, the lift that leads to her house in the building. It's an old Art Deco building, and so there are lots of little things like that. The night is darkest before dawn is a sort of a promise of something better happening in the end. Of course, we are opening up to experiment. All kinds of films are being made as long as there is a producer and there's an actor who's willing to join the fun. So I've never thought that was a problem. Even it's not like something that's happened now. It's always been there. Maybe every actor will not like to do every this kind of a role, but there will be some who would enjoy doing it. And the main thing is to choose a story that resonates with me and has something that I feel will resonate with a lot of people. And after that, it's finally the script and the story and the script that dictates everything else. I am a viewer myself, so when I'm writing on this desk, I'll also be, in a sense, part of me is also sitting in the hall and looking at the scene unfold. So you're able to say, okay, will this work? Will this not work? Will this be confusing? Will this be boring, and so on, and eventually I have to take that call as per what the viewer and me would do.